Today I want to talk about precision problems because of the landscape I have to deal with, but also the tools within the editor itself. And yeah, this is meant to be a little bit as an explanation for my later process, my later stage of the terrain and what I do with the tracks. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So as an example here, I show you a high quality landscape which is from the LiDAR data. The LiDAR data is a high resolution landscape information which you can download anywhere in the internet. And dependent on the state and the country you have, this can be either available for free or it's only paid. In my case here, I have for the start of my route luckily the opportunity to have these high-resolution LiDAR data available, and you get an expression here how it looks like with the high-resolution landscape. Very detailed, very detailed. So the problem I have now is that I don't have this high-quality landscape available for the complete route. I have it only available for 40% of it. And what I actually only can do is have or can use the SRTM data, which is way more gross, and we will take a look at the side-by-side comparison right now. So here is anywhere the border between the LiDAR and SRTM data, which you can see down here. Yeah, this must be in reality 4 or 5 meters high. This is also a minor problem, but we can shape this with the landscape tools in the editor. This is no big problem to deal with. But a problem to deal with is when we go from a detailed landscape like this to a spot like this here, for example. This is a clay quarry. And yeah, here already is the SRTM data, the low resolution terrain profile. And maybe we can see it if we go a little bit closer to it, that it's actually very gross. It's much grosser than the landscape we have behind there. Oops, there it is. You can see here from the distance, which is already 1 kilometer at least away, the detail is very high on this profile. And in comparison to that, we have a rather imprecise terrain profile here. So what I need to do here is basically use the landscape tools in the editor to shape the terrain to a thing I think is correct or fits best. It's also not that close to the tracks I want to build, but it's actually close enough to be seen, so that the detail becomes important here as well. Yeah, this is an example of where I need to do some craft work in the terrain to make it precise, and it would have been much better if I have LiDAR data available here as well. But this is not the only case where this applies. I want to show you also another example. So here we have another quarry. Here we have another quarry, which is pretty big, which is, I think, even a little bit bigger than the last one. And the problem is that this is very close to the actual tracks. So it is very unfortunate that I don't have LiDAR available here, but I think we cannot see so much from the tracks, but we can see some details from the tracks. For example, building such complex building structures here on such an imprecise landscape is a problem, because when you usually place buildings, you will need a kind of flat or even surface to place them on, which is a problem here, especially for such complex shaped buildings. I don't even know what it is. This is kind of a I think this is for the clay, to transport the clay out of the quarry. But if we go here, you will see how gross this all is. Yeah, you can see the shadows here, which is not replicated in the actual terrain. Here should be like a wall, meter high wall, which is not applicated in the SRTM data, the low resolution profile. And so this gives me a bigger challenge to overcome and for places like this. But this is just scenery for here. I also have another example where actually this becomes much more important to the actual tracks. Yeah, here for example, we have a train yard. We have a station where pretty much, track yard, let's call it like this. And the problem here with the SRTM data is that, as you already can see, it's very, very uneven. And we have like these bumps or waves in the terrain, which usually can't be there in reality, because no one would place tracks like this with such a waves into it. So this is a problem due to the imprecision of the SRTM data. Yeah. So I have the option to smooth that here. Yeah. However, the problem is that I don't know actually what is the reality and what is the correct gradient here. I could probably, in Germany there are some registries to show the exact value, but in practice, when you build a route like this or in the editor here, and you just want to place tracks, this is a bit of a problem, because you do not really have an exact starting point where you measure it from, and where you really want to handle this thing. But this is a challenge I have to overcome with the low resolution SRTM data. And another example I want to show you. So let's go into this scenery. Yeah, and here we can see another problem when it comes to mountainous regions, or if the track goes mountainous on the side of a mountain. And this is very problematic with SRTM, that I literally have no real landscape to place the tracks on, because this is so inaccurate, so imprecise. Yeah, you can see here that the tracks would never go this way. Yeah, you can, if I would do so, I would have like such a nit in my tracks, or I could place it actually a little bit better. But just to demonstrate, this goes very down here. And a track usually is not done like this. Here's missing, well, this probably will be a bridge, or maybe only here's a bridge part. And the other meters here, this all should be available in the LiDAR terrain, but this is what I not have available, and I can only use the SRTM data. Yes, we have another example here. So I place it straight. And here's another good example of this. Yeah, look at this landscape. Yeah, you can see clearly that the SRTM data is incorrect to the real world counterpart, because you cannot have such a track. You cannot have such a railway. This is impossible. Look at this gradient in here. This is not possible. So what I need to do is basically find a solution by myself to get along with it, place the track so that it makes sense, it makes logical sense, but I don't know 100% where the exact location of the tracks is, but I have to deal with that, and I have to, let's say, agree that there is a difference between reality and the virtual counterpart. And this also gets me directly to the next topic, which is very related. And this is a thing I also want to get changed by DGT. And we can clearly see here, there, and I think it was even better at the beginning here. Now, and this counts for the Google Maps overlay. Yeah, we only have the Google Maps overlay to layer our tracks as reference. And this is a problem for cases like this, where, yeah, the tracks are actually hidden or covered by the shadows, or even covered by complete forests. And yeah, you cannot see the tracks anymore here. So I needed to place it where I think it makes a logic. Yeah. But we do not even have any visual guidance or any help, so that we have a little piece of track which shows here, maybe here, but this is also not good. Yeah, no real guidance for the real railway tracks. And because of this reason, what I would want DGT to do is get us the OpenStreetMap layer, or even the Open Railway Maps layer. And with this, we could literally see where the actual tracks are. I would not see where the trees are and such things, where the meadows are and where streets are, but I would see, well, probably I will see where streets are, but for forwards and stuff like this, I will have to decide, or I will need to use the Google Maps layer nonetheless. But this would really be a big help if they could decide to bring the OpenStreetMaps layer or an OpenStreetMaps layer in, or even better, use the Open Railway Maps as an opportunity to, yeah, help us laying the tracks, or even find a way that we can automatically place the tracks can automatically be placed by the Open Railway Maps layer. That would be really great to have that. But this is really this would require a lot more work to implement such a feature. But the OpenStreetMaps layer would be a lot helpful, very, very helpful for cases like this where we really can't see the tracks anymore. Yeah, in such forest area. So yeah, this would be a very, very good thing. And yeah, I would be very happy if DGT could implement this feature maybe in one of the next editor improvements, or let's say fixes or whatever. So another problem I've encountered is these seams between the SRTM data mainly. I think it is not so extremely visible in the LiDAR data, or even if it is possible at all, visible at all in the LiDAR data, but in the SRTM data it is visible. And we have even placed a location here where this is very, very extreme. And this is here. Take a look at that. Now here come 4 tiles, landscape tiles together, and this is immediately nearby the tracks. So the funny thing is, I found a way to solve that issue actually by using the landscape tools and the smooth tool. But nonetheless, I figured out that these seams here, the spots where these seams are, really are a spot where the editor crashes a lot. So when I placed the tracks over these edges, over these seams, in let's say 9 of 10 cases, the editor crashed. There's almost a guarantee that the editor crashes when I place or when I lay any tracks over these seams. So yeah, stability is a thing which I would also want it to be improved in the editor. Yeah, regarding laying tracks is a thing which is causing many crashes, the most crashes to me, and is very annoying. There must be a way to, yeah, I think I don't know actually where the problem is, but there should be a fix for this, that track layering becomes way easier. And yes, I want to talk about another thing about the OpenStreetMaps layer versus the Google Maps overlay. And this is a thing which is not even the fault of the editor itself. It's the fault of Google Maps itself. And this is that there is an inaccuracy in the Google Maps data per se. Yeah, which is sometimes not noticeable, and other times it is noticeable. For example, if we take a look at this, I need to go in a distance so that you can see it more clearly. Now, take a look at this. This usually should be a clear straight. There's no way that there are such curves immediately in the railway. Yeah? And this is, let's say, in picture or image error in the Google Maps overlay, which is also problematic if I want to lay tracks accurately on the right position. You can see it a little bit worse now because I have my tracks a little bit overlaid it as already. Yeah, there are some errors in here too. This is not final. But yeah, Google Maps itself has errors too. And such errors you clearly could solve by adding an OpenStreetMaps layer into the editor, which could give us the correct guidance, the correct reference where the real railways are, and we wouldn't have such failures or errors in the reference system. Yeah, this is very important for me. This is especially important if you are in train yard situations where every little inaccuracy is problematic because you have tracks beside you, left and right beside you, and every inaccuracy between these tracks is problematic. Yeah, so yeah, an alternative to Google Maps would be very helpful in this case. Another thing I want to talk about is actually something what DGT could change in the next editor update. And this is how you can place a long straight track so that it actually is enough or exactly straight in the distance. This is a problem with the tools or with the tool we have today because it's not exactly accurate enough. And I will show you what I mean. By a second, I will go on the mode. So here I have my track layering tool. And now we can adjust the angle from here in which we want to place a track. But yeah, we have like a straight here, and I could make this straight. I could place it once it is golden, and we have a complete straight. But there are a few issues here. First thing is that if I would click now on this and the track would be created, there's a high probability that the editor will crash. Yeah, it happened so many times to me that I will not do this anymore. I just do pieces of track which are, let's say, 30 or up to 50 meters at maximum. I will not place anything longer. So now you might ask, well, you can create a straight track with this either way. Yes, but the problem here is that to hit the exact angle on which the real counterpart is laid to. Yeah, this probably I will delete some of these tracks to give you the illusion, the imagination of what I mean, if it is working. No, yes. should have done this before. So this should do it. If I want to lay this straight now, I use my selection tool. And since I'm working on SRTM data, this is also a challenge more to deal with. But yeah, as I said before, I will have to deal with it. And now we can adjust the angle on which I want to place the track. And yeah, we cannot really see this from here where it will end. I have this, and I can see, no, this is not fitting or matching. And this is again not. And this will do it. You can see that the golden line in the middle is kind of where I want to go. But the problem here is that it's just more or less thing. It's not an exact thing. I don't know where the track is ending exactly. And the longer the straight is here, the higher is the chance that at the other end of the straight you have a kind of offset angle or loss angle, which is not fitting the exact railway, the exact track for it. This is a big problem to deal with. So what I usually do now is laying a straight in this way, yeah, further and further, adjusting the heat as well is the next step, but laying this further and further, and we will come to a place in the distance which is more or less off the tracks at the end, and this is a problem. So we have this kind of imprecision on very long straight tracks. And yeah, what DGT could do here to solve this are potentially two things, or to make it better. This is one, is that for adjusting this angle, we also have an option here. I could place it so, and this is also what I usually do. And then I select this piece of track. I go to the rotate mode, and we have like a value here, which you can see above the red angle, the red triangle. And yeah, this is cool to place a track there or to adjust the angle after you have placed the track. But the problem is here that the value for which you want to place it, you cannot really get enough precise values if you want to make a long enough track. So I don't have even modifiers here where I could go in much more precise steps. If you see this here, when I go a little bit to the left, or let's get this in start position, and when I just toggle it a little bit, we have these these 0.1, 0.15 steps, but this is not really accurate. What I would want to have is like the option to use a key modifier here, like Shift or Alt or Command, Control, to precise this value in 0.01 steps. There's no way how I can do this now, and more or less I will get to the angle I want more or less with this, but it's not the exact angle. And the longer the straight is, the longer you make the straight track, the more problematic this is here. Yeah, so it really would be helpful if we could have a modifier so that we can go in much more precise steps here. And I of course know that we have an option actually to rotate this. I didn't try this before, but yeah, this is much more. This is not the real solution to the problem. We could actually, I think, add a value in here, 0.01, or let's say that we can see it more clearly, 0.5. Yeah. So this could be a solution to that. However, or does it jump? No. However, this is not so nice. Yeah, it would be much more nicer to really have the visual end with your eye, pin it, and then you could kind of adjust the adjust the value, the angle value with the rotate value exactly here, so that you don't have to deal with the values itself in the menu. You just can do this precisely in this way I do here. Yeah, so much finer steps would be very helpful. And another option how you could make this even better is to use kind of, and I think someone mentioned it in the forum that DGT even thought about this idea. And this is for placing a straight track. Let's delete this one. For placing a long straight like this is a straight, for example, more or less should be 800, 900, or even 900 meters, I would say. And for long straights like this, it would be cool if we had something like we have with the splines in the spline menu. Like we place 2 points. We place 1 point at the start of the straight. Like this is a spline point. Oh, let's go back into the full mode. This is a spline point. And we have another point of this at the other side of the straight, where we exactly know the track's going, and place it here. So you see that this automatically creates something called a spline, which is tweakable. Yeah, usually you use this kind for roads and not for straights. But yeah, something like this could be very helpful here because of the sad problem that you cannot really set precise the end where the end of the track is from the start of it. Yeah, you just have not really control over it just by the visual aspect. So this would be very helpful for the process of creating long straights. Yeah, and then on my route we only have straight tracks of, let's say, at a maximum of 1 to 2 kilometers. But I already heard people saying that they have problems when creating long straight tracks on high-speed lines, which could go for 10 kilometers plus just straight. And yeah, this is a problem. And therefore, implementing these two things to creating long straight tracks would be very, very helpful. And yeah, I think this was it, what I wanted to say. Just this for how I need to deal with the imprecision of the map and how I need to deal with the tools I have available. And any upgrades on this, any improvements on this would be very helpful for the track layering process. And yeah, just want to let you notice that what I have to deal with. And I say thank you for watching this video. If you watch this video full, thank you very much. And yeah, maybe consider to implement some features like I mentioned. This would be helpful for the PC editor community. Thank you very much.